The fourth day of my journey through Iceland kicks off at Djúpidalur campground, where I'll be packing up camp and heading for the beautiful Kolugljúfur Canyon. From there, I'll check out Þingeyraklausturskirkja Church, the Basalt Columns at Kálfshamarsviti, and Sauðárkrókur Black Beach. Finally, I'll take in Glaumbær Turf Farm Museum and Grafarkirkja Church before heading to my campsite for the night in Hofsós. First up is Kolugljúfur Canyon. It's a little over 100 miles from my campsite in Djúpidalur, a trip of around 2 hours and 15 minutes. Good rainy Friday morning. It is the start of day 4, and I'm getting an early start today. It's just a little after 8 a.m. I left the campsite about 20 minutes ago, and I'm headed to my first stop of the day, the Kolugljúfur Canyon. Beautiful canyon with deep sides, rocky walls, a beautiful waterfall at the mouth of it, and a raging rapid river flowing through it. I'm definitely looking forward to checking that out. Afterwards, I'm heading to a historic church, and I'll be seeing some basalt columns after that. I've got a full packed schedule today. I'm hoping that the rain lets up a little bit. We've got a forecast of, looks like rain most of the day. Right now it's saying 95% chance of rain. Looks like a little less than half an inch of rain. So we'll just have to see how things turn out. I've got waterproof jacket and rain pants, so even if there's a little bit of rain, a drizzle, it should be fine. That's one of the things about coming to Iceland. It doesn't really matter what time of year it is. There's always a chance of strong wind and rain, so you have to be prepared with the right gear. Obviously, you hope for sunshine, but that doesn't always happen. But definitely got an early start today since I've got a little less than a 2-hour drive left. A little bit of a hike this morning, but looking forward to checking out this canyon and seeing some more beautiful sights today. I'll check in a little bit later and we'll see how things are going. Hey, good morning.
Kolugljúfur Canyon is a marvel of Icelandic geology. A little over half a mile long, the canyon measures around 160 feet at its deepest point. Inside the gorge runs the beautiful blue-green Víðitalsá River, punctuated by half a dozen or so small waterfalls. While the canyon itself is deep and imposing, safely visiting is easy thanks to an extensive network of platforms, bridges, and trails. Kolugljúfur Canyon is steeped in Icelandic mythology. Folklore attributes the digging of the gorge to Kola, the female giant for whom it's named. According to the story, Kola lived on the edge of the gorge, dipping her bare hands into the river to catch salmon. It's believed that the vast canyon was formed by these scoops of the giant's hands. While the mythical giant Kola no longer calls the gorge home, her handiwork remains, attracting scores of curious tourists each day. My next stop is Þingeyraklausturskirkja Church. At just over 20 miles away, it's a trip of around 30 minutes. On my way to the church, I decided to make an unscheduled stop here, at the Vatnsdalshólar viewpoint. The lonely overlook, some 75 stairs up, offers unmatched views of the surrounding lakes and mountains. Þingeyraklausturskirkja Church is a lovely sight to behold. One of the oldest stone churches in Iceland, Þingeyraklausturskirkja sits between two lakes overlooking the surrounding Húnavatnssýsla plains. Out here, far away from civilization, the small stone church offers a quiet reminder of how things used to be. Þingeyraklausturskirkja Church sits on a site of great religious significance to Icelanders. The unassuming plot of land was once home to the first permanent monastery in Iceland. This monastery, a Benedictine mission, stood from 1133 to 1551 until the Protestant Reformation brought Lutheranism to Iceland. While the original turf structure is long gone, numerous priceless artifacts remain. Built from stone from the nearby Nesbjorg cliffs, the current Romanesque-style church was consecrated in September of 1877. Next on the agenda is Kálfshamarsviti Lighthouse and the nearby Basalt Columns. It's a 40-mile drive north, taking about an hour from Þingeyraklausturskirkja Church. Located near the tip of the Skagi Peninsula, Kálfshamarsviti is surrounded by striking basalt columns. These tall hexagonal pillars, created by cooling lava, are a subtle reminder of Iceland's volcanic history. The white lighthouse, built in the 1940s, stands in stark contrast to the dark rocks below, making it one of northern Iceland's most photogenic spots. Kálfshamarsviti is strikingly beautiful. Once a bustling fishing village, now all that remains are some informational plaques and turf ruins. The basalt columns surrounding the nearby Kálfshamarsvik Cove are some of the most diverse and breathtaking in the entire region, spanning different orientations, sizes, and heights. Perched on the edge of the cove, overlooking Húnafjörður Fjord, stands Kálfshamarsviti Lighthouse. Blending harmoniously into the stone stacks below, the blocky lighthouse looks almost like an extension of nature. My next destination is Sauðárkrókur Black Sand Beach. Located around 50 miles away, it's a 1-hour drive south from Kálfshamarsviti. Situated just outside a charming town, Sauðárkrókur Black Sand Beach sits on the picturesque Skagafjörður Bay. Quiet and windswept, the beach offers prime views of the Tindalstóll mountain range across the water. Far from a tourist hotspot, Sauðárkrókur Beach is an excellent place to soak in some coastal views and experience Iceland's black sands like a local. My next stop is the historical Glaumbær Turf Farm and Museum. It's a short 10-minute drive from Sauðárkrókur Black Beach, about 15 minutes away. Located near northern Iceland's stunning Skagafjordur fjord stands Glaumbær Turf Farm and Museum. Glaumbær, a beautifully preserved turf farm, features buildings dating back to the 18th and 19th centuries. Nestled between the Skagafjallsfjord mountains, Glaumbær offers an idyllic snapshot into the farm life of yore. Once a popular construction method in Iceland, turf houses are now largely relegated to textbooks and museums. This large turf house, actually 13 smaller connected houses, was built in the late 1800s and inhabited until the 1940s. Built with practicality and heat retention in mind, each of the turf house sections serves a purpose, such as the kitchen, pantry, bunk room, and more. Since being abandoned, the plot has become a conservation site, now home to a handful of other significant structures, including a church and a few timber buildings. Next up is Grafarkirkja Church. Located about 30 miles north of Glaumbær, it's a 40-minute drive. Located in the shadow of the breathtaking Tröllaskagi Mountains, Grafarkirkja Church is an enchanting piece of Icelandic history. Believed to be the oldest turf church in Iceland, parts of the structure date back to the 17th century. Made entirely of wood and earth, the small church blends seamlessly into the grassy hills and farmland surrounding it. While almost entirely reconstructed in the 1950s, records of Grafarkirkja Church date back as far as the 1200s. Despite its deep cultural and religious significance, Grafarkirkja was once used by local farmers as a storage building, only being rediscovered years later. Now closed for preservation, the small chapel is one of only 6 other turf churches in Iceland, and the only one with a circular turf wall surrounding it. My final stop of the day is Hofsós campground. At a distance of just under 3 miles, it's a short 5-minute drive from Grafarkirkja Church. My campground for tonight is located just steps away from the tiny village of Hofsós. Resting quietly along the edge of Skagafjörður Fjord, Hofsós lies between the flat-topped peak of Tindastóll Mountain in the east and the distant Tröllaskagi Mountains to the north. While modest, tonight's accommodations have everything I need, including a small kitchen, shared bathrooms, and clean shower facilities. These amenities will allow me to relax, refresh, and prepare for the next leg of my adventure through Iceland. On the next episode.
Well, good morning. It is the beginning of day 5, and it is sunny. We got a few clouds in the sky, but the sun is poking through. The weather